afterwards, but at least you'll be able to share anything with anybody without having to write it down or remember it all.
Okay, okay.
So I'll start off then. If anybody joins, I'll just admit them when they join in as we go, yes? So everybody sitting comfortably? All ready to go? I will kick off then. So some of you may know some of this, but obviously for those of you that don't, but this is just a webinar which we are doing weekly on a particular developer. This developer this evening is Bashdazlar. So it'll give you a little bit about them, about luxury in the sun, a little bit about North Cyprus, and the current investment potential and payment plan choices that are available. We'll concentrate on this developer, but there are a number of other options currently. They're obviously trying, as anybody is with the COVID situation, to keep their businesses operating with some kind of offer. What they're trying to do, obviously, is engage people when they can't actually travel. So some of that comes out in this presentation, and some of it we can share on chat or on emails afterwards. And options for some questions and answers afterwards. So I'll move on first with a little bit about us. Who are we? Well, myself and Yannicka and Laura, we are Luxury in the Sun, but we do have a number of other members who work with us. Robert, that's your shining face in the middle. Eric and Heidi from close to Oslo area in Kongsvinger, and Tonja and Emil were from Spain actually up until recently. Now they're in the north of Norway in, slips my memory now. Anyway, it's famous for its salmon and its fishing, so it will come to me. Hilton, something like that. We also have Paul and Karen from previously in the UAE, now back in the UK, and Laura sitting with me here, who looks after people and our sales over here in the TRNC. Sarah and Jan, who are in Javier in Spain, and that good-looking guy, Marwan, who's based in Dubai. So why are we different? We like to get to know our customers and spend some time with them. So we're not just looking for one-off viewings. We like to actually share our experiences of North Cyprus, how we live, and the peace of mind that you can have living here in terms of not only the weather, but crime and pace of life and the cost of living, all those things. We also insist on using a lawyer, so we offer a 1-hour consultation when people come with us on an inspection trip. We also try to cut down the stress element of things by collaborating with other agents and all the best developers on the island, mainly because we've been here nearly 16 years now, so obviously we've built relationships over that time. But we also show you a little bit of the social life of North Cyprus, tavernas, beach bars, the harbour, all those sorts of things, if we have the timescales to do. So we share with you the whole process, including after, with regards to supporting the customers afterwards. And Laura does a lot of the rental backup and maintenance, and looking after things like, if the developer doesn't do it, picking furniture and curtains and tiles and those sorts of things. A quick recap, because we've done previous projects. Now these are available, which we can send them. So if anybody wants anything they haven't received, just drop in the chat room your email or a request for it, and we'll send them after. So last week we talked about Esentepe Cliff, which is a project just starting, which is a hotel style. I won't go all through the details because we did it last week and it's obviously recorded, but basically it's 1, 2, 3 bedrooms and 3-bedroom semi-detached villas, with pricing is between 44,000 for a studio up to 180 for the semi-detached villa. So these are all amenities included in a VIP pass, and you get all these accessories with it in terms of amenities. So obviously it's quite an enclosed concept in a hotel style, but it's personal for you. It doesn't include anybody from outside. The week before we did Maldives and Mykonos. This is the phase 1 of Maldives Homes, which for any of you that don't know, was quite a concept that nobody really believed in at the time, but you can see the gardens are looking wonderful. Let's just admit Yannicka into there. The gardens are looking wonderful, and phase 2 is almost completed. So this is actually now born a further, it's now born a further development, which is now under process and under sale, which is Mykonos, which is based along the lines of Santorini and a place called Coco Tago Hotel, which includes jacuzzis and swimming pools in each of the apartments. So this is the design, as you can see from here. Some have jacuzzis and some have individual swimming pools in their apartment, all elevated so you all get sea views. So those details are available also. The same developer is also doing an investment project starting at 39,000 for a garden studio and 49,000 for a penthouse studio. Investment project, they are offering a 15% rental guarantee on these and a 36-month interest-free payment plan. So this is one of the things in COVID time that is encouraging people to purchase remotely through online viewings, etc. It is going to be right opposite the proposed new marina. There's no date of start, although there is a slight build start. There's no official date of finish, but you can see it's a huge project. And in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see the Karpaz Gate Marina. So this will actually be bigger than that. So it will add to the local area, very close to Maldives and Mykonos and along the Esentepe coast. And lastly, with that developer from 2 weeks ago is Idil, which is very close to the sandy Esentepe beach, small development, and there's 5 or 6 apartments left in this price range between 80 and 100,000 for 2-bed. As Laura's just pointed out, the construction is moving along very fast, and they should finish it early part of next year. So even with the current situation, things are still moving quite fast, especially with this developer. So we move on to tonight, which is Bashtaslar. They are a very big constructor, and they deal with government buildings, hospitals. They've done several developments on the Esentepe coast, including ourselves have a penthouse apartment in one of their developments in Pine Valley. And I'm just going to run a short video, which is the next screen, which just gives you a little flavour, and then I'll go on to the other slide after that. So there, short video. Well, actually, it wasn't as short as I remembered it, but that should sum up what we're talking about tonight. In terms of 50 years, the residential properties are actually a more recent, in the last 5 years for Bashkazlar, starting with the Pine Valley apartments, but they've grown considerably quickly, and their quality has grown along with them. So along the Esentepe coast with 4 or 5 other developers, which we have started to feature, they are very strong in what they're doing and what they're offering, and their price mixes, although over recent years the capital growth has obviously seen the prices rise, they're still starting from 44,900 for a studio. They're currently sold out of villas, so up to 200, nearly 300 for their 3-bedroom apartments. So they still have a wide mix, but they've also sold an awful lot of these which are in construction now. Just to give you an idea at the bottom there, the mixtures of nationalities, the Scandinavian countries have grown in percentage over the European countries, and actually, surprisingly, the UK side of it is actually very low in recent purchases, whereas in the past it was much bigger than that. So since 2015, they've expanded along the coast to the seaside. So now they have Sun Valley, which is they call a mini city, which is a seaside and a mountainside development. This just gives you an idea of where the location is in terms of the major cities of Famagusta, Nicosia, and the airports at Ercan and Larnaca. Obviously, currently, most people are coming in through Ercan, which is very close, but in previous times, especially Scandinavia, etc., were coming in through Larnaca with many more flight choices. But we all know that that's a difficult situation at the moment. This is the city by the sea, which is the Cove, as featured in the video. And across the bridge onto the other side is Cove Garden Village, where the starting prices are 44,900. Those are still under construction now, but also still available. Whereas in the Cove Village, right by the sea, there's less units available. But this whole development has a shuttle service which will enable you to use the restaurants, the pools, and all the facilities at both sites, at Pine Valley Mountainside and Sun Valley by the sea. And as you can see, as it said in the video. So Mountainside, which is a very short drive away, which is where our penthouse apartment is completed apart from one villa, which everything else is now completed construction. And right in the centre, the leisure centre is basically cleared, ready to build. So that will add all the facilities on this site as well as the ones that will be on the Cove. So this is just the mix of properties within their developments. This is the original from 2015 where we actually have our apartment. This is the Pine Valley Apartments, and these are 2- and 3-bedroom garden and penthouse apartments. Just to give you an idea on the capital increase, I think we may have this in a slide coming up, but a purchase of a 2-bedroom penthouse in 2015 for 88 is now on sale at 199. So you can see the growth not only in the area, but the trust and the growth in the constructor as well. This has 2 pools and also features the restaurant underneath this pool here. Then we have Pine Valley Blue, which is a slightly different style. These are Mediterranean style townhouses, 2-bedroom townhouses over 3 floors with a roof terrace. I believe there is one left here, although whether that's now sold, I'm not sure. But very, very exclusive, small development with its own private pool within the townhouses. Very, very nice style and a great location within the development itself. Blue Botanic is very recent, just completed in the last 2 months. These are 3-bedroom. Predominantly, there's been a raft of 2-bedroom apartments, not so many 3-bedrooms. So these were put into the market as 3-bedroom penthouses and 3-bedroom gardens. All the 3-bedroom penthouses already sold. And I believe as of current availability, 3 of the 4 garden apartments are available. So these are 3-bedroom. These also use the facilities on the same site. So this has a botanical garden rather than a swimming pool in front of it. This is probably one of the most growing successes for Bashkazlar, the Infinity project. Now this has a 45-metre swimming pool in front of the apartments. During the period of the construction, we had some great success selling to numerous countries these apartments. Penthouse apartments above, garden apartments below, and obviously then they have their own terrace from the garden apartment and a shared terrace from the penthouse apartment by the pool, but also a large roof terrace on the top. But they have, each block has their own 45 metre long swimming pool, which is quite a sight to see. And this is actually a real picture, but in the construction picture 3Ds, they do really look far better in real life, with amazing views out to sea on the infinity pool. On the back of that, they have also built Elegance, which is a spin-off from Infinity, but rather than the 45 metre pools, they have a communal pool which is actually heated all year round. So this is based within the Elegance development, all in the same site within walking distance. So actually you can swim all year round, as this one's heated, and anybody can use any of the facilities, so you can walk between pools if you choose to do so. There are a few of Elegance still available, as this was the second to last build completed. The seaside of the development is a short drive down the road, either by car or by transfer minibus. This is the Cove. A few units available left here. Front line are on one level only bungalows. So the apartments behind, be it garden or penthouse, gets views to the sea as well. And the access to the beach also will have restaurants and beach bar, etc. in terms of amenities. There is an old coast road that goes along quite a distance for cycling and walking. And of course, from relaxation and exercise point of view, you can either laze by the pool or take yourself on a walk. You don't necessarily need a car, although that is supplied here if required. Cove Garden is just across the road, but this is aimed more from an investment point of view and a rental point of view. Only 1 and 2 bedroom sizes here. Starting at 44,900, and these have actually been very popular. A few still available, but the construction has only just started, so it will be completed in about 24 months. There are a number of payment plans that come with this developer as well, so we will feature some of these. I just wanted to confirm what I was saying earlier a little bit about the capital growth. 10 to 15% is generally what's increasing on the properties as it's going year on year, although some of the projects are raising more than 100% in 5 years, as probably the one I gave you an example of has done, with the 88,000 now being sold at 195. And the reason we know that one is that's actually our own apartment, which was purchased in 2015. Also, this is the only developer, if you are a cash buyer and were to purchase outright, they are the only developer that gives a full 10% discount on purchase, which is quite a bonus if you have the money available, which would mean you would immediately make a 30% profit from your off-plan purchase when you pick up the keys. Or maybe you're not choosing to sell it, but at least you know you've increased your capital worth on your property. Flexible payment plans, they are changing daily at the moment with regards to the need of the developer's business, but these are current examples. Generally, a security deposit is 2,000. They are differing if you are committing to it remotely. They are taking £1,000 deposit at the moment, but if you wish to extend it, then they also go up to 5,000, just to obviously protect the timescales of putting the down payment 35% down. So if you were to buy a 2-bedroom apartment, which is Cove Garden at 99,900, if you'd put £2,000 down, when you sign contracts, you would put 32,965 down, which would leave you over 7 years a payment of approximately £1,000 a month. Now, that is at the moment partly with interest, and the reason I haven't put a percentage there is because it is differing. So they obviously confirm the interest point on the day, but somewhere between 5 and 7%. But 36 months of it in general at the moment is interest free. But when you're sitting in front of the developer, to be honest, they are very flexible with what you can offer to work a deal with them. To give you an example, a 3-bedroom, 194, 2,000 down, 68 with the contract. This would be approximately £1,500 a month. Same on the interest and the 36 months interest free. And an entry price, which this one is 54, but there are some on offer at 44,900. 2,000 down, 19,000 with down payment, which means less than 500 a month over this period. So very affordable from a investment point of view. But if you happen to have that amount, obviously you can actually buy it outright and get 10% off straight away as well. So some good options there. I think the facilities are fairly obvious. from what we've discussed, but there will be a huge Marina Beach Club amphitheatre project here, which is in front of the Cove development, but also accessible from Cove Garden, which will feature like this. Obviously, this is 3D, so this will obviously still need to be the small chapel is already there, is an old amphitheatre chapel, and the beach is gradually being constructed around it as the progress of the development finishes. Obviously, all looking out over the Mediterranean. So there'll be all the facilities, sunbeds, cabanas, and a deck to park your jet ski or a certain amount of boats up against. Restaurants, there have been a shortage of restaurants along the coast, so it's pleasing to see that some new ones are developing. The Taro restaurant, already the bistro, open at Pine Valley, which does some wonderful food at very good prices, but they're also adding restaurants along the beach at the Cove as well, and beach bars, so that will add our restaurant delights, and you will also receive a discount if you're part of the VIP club card as well as an owner in this developer. There is a tennis court on Pine Valley, which obviously during the summer is particularly hot to use, but it's open to all members of the purchase from Bachelor's. The leisure centre, which has yet to be completed, will incorporate a new gym and a conference facility, hammam, bath and indoor pool. So as an all year round place to come. Obviously you can enjoy it even when the days are a little bit cooler than they are in the summer. You can swim inside and obviously use your facilities. This will be towards the end of the building project at Cove, and this is going to be an organic garden, so all the purchasers here will be able to actually use the fruits of their own development, which will be able to be picked and purchased on site, but this is yet to be constructed. Also on site there is a children's play area. This has currently got the current gym in at the moment, but when the new leisure centre is built, this will be transformed into the children's play area. There is also a mountain bike hire service on site, which you can hire daily or weekly or during your vacation, and this is all done via your resident card if you are an owner, or if you are renting, obviously you would get the use of that resident card to receive your discounts. As the video mentioned, there is an 18-hole international golf course next door, which is, as a golfer myself, it's a very stern challenge, set up into the mountains down to the sea. It's a big challenge for any golfer, but it is amazing in terms of scenery. The clubhouse is amazing. The terrace, to be able to eat and drink on the terrace is absolutely fantastic. And they also have a beach club just down the road, which they do shuttles from, which you can also use if as a member of the public, which has a beach bar restaurant down there between roughly April and October. So Sun Valley Management, of course, if you're there full time, many of these you won't need, but if you're a swallow and come and go as a second home until you can be there more full time, there's the option of allowing them to offer rental management to give you some income to pay any of the bills, which includes a full housekeeping service, shuttles to the other developments, paying your bills, laundry, everything, including airport transfers should you require them. As obviously you want to travel around the island, there's also the car rental service, or should you wish just to pop into town, the taxi service. And also, if you are renting, there's a repair service on site. So actually it's completely worry-free, and we have experience of this ourselves. So from checking the apartment to issues that go wrong, it's only a phone call away to, in most cases, inform you that it's been noticed, dealt with and completed. So rental management service, they are actually just spreading it out onto a platform called Shuhu, which includes a lot of the major online platforms like Airbnb, Booking.com, etc. Pretty obvious, but they'll help find the clients, they'll clean before and after, take your deposit, check in and check out, and do everything for you. They take a 20% commission from it, and the rest gets paid into your account, so really hassle-free. This is just an example. This actually covers Pine Valley or Sun Valley as it is with all its developments as an example, but the rental amounts across the low season and the high season. So you can see there's quite a spread from 55 to 70 and 105 to 130. But it gives you an idea of what income approximately you can get from, actually it doesn't have to be just this developer, this is fairly similar across all developers. But if you're talking about a good 5-month season up to 150 days. Sun Valley at the moment average between 100 and 120, but you can obviously push that to more if you're using it yourself or family members, etc. But it means you can return a rental income based on this average of £8,000 to £10,000. When the Heart Centre, which is the leisure centre, is completed, obviously they would look to increase that. This current year is obviously not helping that situation, so we'll have to see how that will improve from next year. These are fairly obvious maintenance issues that get carried out automatically. The key thing here is the maintenance fees across these developments from £80 for the Cove Garden. The villas, because they are detached, they are on £30 just for the site fees for the lights and the roads and things like that. But on the other developments, between 100 and 125, which pays for all the pools, all the gardens, all the lighting, complete CCTV cameras, and all the backup the site requires. What attracts people to North Cyprus? Now, it may seem fairly obvious, but we have such a steep area of history. We have a lovely mountain range which shields the whole north coast and the Mediterranean Sea. We have a lot of nature, including the donkey sanctuary and some wonderful sandy beaches, which you can find a lot of coves where you'll be the only people actually on the beach. We have the history from Byzantine, Ottoman, Roman, along the whole of the coast, which includes 3 castles, Cantara, Hilarion and Buffavento, which you can walk between, but they are fabulous to see the scenery on both sides. Protected is the turtles on North Cyprus. You can actually visit and help the hatchlings into the sea. And after you've made a purchase, we of course would assist you in selling it as well. So if you decided to upgrade or maybe move on to something else, then we'll also offer our assistance where that's concerned. And what's key about North Cyprus, predominantly at the moment, it's almost corona-free. We've had such a low death rate here and a low case rate. It's been actually, I think, in the top 3 with regards to results currently, and really hasn't affected life here too much other than masks in supermarkets and shops. We have an amazing climate of over 300 days of sun a year, and some lovely beaches with clear turquoise waters. They're investing a lot of money from the tourist point of view up until this year, unfortunately, with 12 new 5-star hotels being built with some amazing beach facilities and amenities and restaurants. The international airport, when direct flights, I say when, hopefully when direct flights are available, has grown from an old military airport to a huge airport, 3 times bigger than it was before. And we're also lucky enough to have more than 100,000 students here because there are, I believe it's 18 or 19 now universities here. So there's a heavy educational side to North Cyprus, which means the spread of people is from a young age right the way through to old age. Obviously, Turkey invests in North Cyprus, so we have direct water projects under the sea, which is quite a new project, supplying fresh water to Cyprus, its dams and its people, and towards the agriculture. And the return on investment over a rental period will be as little as 5, actually, up to 8 years, depending on which property you purchase. We are a very safe country, the 5th safest, even though we're unrecognised as a country. And we have such a wide variety of culture and history, much too much to put on here, but really worth checking and looking into, lots to read up on. The North Coast in particular has such a picturesque landscape. You would be unlucky to have a property that didn't have sea and mountain views, much easier than you would find in Spain when you're trying to find a sea view. You will find most properties have both. I've mentioned 300 days of sun, the calm, laid-back Mediterranean lifestyle. At the moment, we are now topping 11 Turkish lira to the pound. So the cost of living here, if you're living in any other currency other than Turkish lira, is just amazing here at the moment for bringing your own currency in to live on. You can put your money into a bank with investment interest up to 18% in Turkish lira. And we've mentioned 10% up to 15% on the capital increase on your property, which you can cost with some significant rental income. And some developers are offering up to 15% rental guarantee as well, so you can help that pay off your apartment after the key handover. And of course, we are about 50% cheaper than South Cyprus and many of the other Mediterranean countries. So a great place to invest in real estate. And just a couple of options to back that up, other than the one I mentioned to you about 88 up to 195. These are a couple on the Maldives development that was launched and started building in 2018. A 3-bedroom penthouse, which was listed and sold at 220, has recently sold at 325. And a 2-bedroom garden apartment, originally sold off plan at 140, has recently sold at 195. So you can actually see that the capital increase is very effective if you decide to flip it and sell and move on to something else. But even if you keep it, you know you've increased your asset value in terms of property. So what happens when you find the property that you want? Just very simple stuff, but it is something we always get asked. Once you've decided where your dream home is and an offer's been accepted, the reservation deposit is as little as 1,000 at the moment, but generally 2,000 up to 5. We would have given you a 1-hour free lawyer meeting, which if you decided to use that lawyer, you would obviously instruct a power of attorney to enable the contracts to continue while you're back home. And once it's met that point in time, that property will be yours, and the lawyer would then continue after your permission to purchase to go through and do the contract tax and the land registry. So the permission to purchase is basically a CRB check or legal background check, which takes 6 to 9 months actually. It doesn't actually affect your purchase. It will go on in the background and the title will follow once that's been confirmed. If you're making a payment plan, obviously you'll be making your payments, your permission to purchase comes through, and then the title's transferred. If it's ready, now the reason I put if ready, if you're buying off a new development, the title won't be ready until the complete development is finished, because they will parcelise the land. If there's 6 units, yours would be 1/6, and then it will be given to you in title when the development's finished. Additional costs, lawyers' fees generally between 1,500 and 1,900. And to pay with your contract, you will pay, as you would in UK or wherever, 0.5% stamp duty. If you're buying brand new, you would also be paying 5% VAT on any new property transaction, but that doesn't need to be paid at purchase. You just need to be aware of it, that it will be due within 2 years. The title transfer, although 6% as a first-time buyer, you would get a reduction to 3%. And this would only be due when the title is taken. So again, within 2 years when the development is finished. So although you've got roughly 8.5% fees plus lawyers to add, you only really need to consider the lawyer and the 0.5% initially. In terms of new properties, there are some infrastructure costs which the Belediere or the council, as it is, would offer on the water, and the infrastructure is dependent on how many properties. The infrastructure for the electric is roughly 1,000, 1,500, and the water connection fee is not controlled by the developer, but the new connection is about £700, which is a new meter for the mains water delivery. Sometimes the developers absorb them, but I have to say not very often. Additional services we've kind of covered: holiday rentals, management services, all the things that you would need for yourself, but for any guests that are arriving there. The important one here at the bottom is residency permit assistance. Laura actually does an element of this for us and our customers also. We just completed them ourselves. You can do it online, but at times you need to be here for immigration, police station meetings to confirm some of your paperwork. But it is actually a lot less difficult than I thought it was going to be, and minimal cost. But what this helps you with is if you're a swallow and you come backwards and forwards to your property, you don't have to worry about your 30 days visa, which it used to be 90, but at the moment they've now changed that, so they give you 30 when you come in. So to actually have a residency permit means you don't have to worry about it, you just only have to review that yearly. Inspection trips, these are something that generally still free in North Cyprus, not in many other countries. We currently have with all developers an offer for a free inspection trip, typically 4 nights accommodation with airport transfer, breakfast, 1-hour legal consultation. We will also show you some of the local area around the properties we've already shortlisted. On occasion, this can be extended if you still want to look at other properties, either with a second developer. But if you wanted to stay for an extended holiday, typically it's another €60 a night if you wanted to tag that onto the end of your inspection trip. So that concludes tonight's bachelor's law presentation. if I haven't gone on too much or explained too much, I'd open the floor to any questions if anybody has any on Bashtas. Any questions from anybody out there? Are you all there? Can you hear me?